Science can't do it all. So heal yourself with your mind. Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. So science can't do it all. So we need to heal ourselves with our minds. This is part 2. You know, we're in the middle of another the sky is falling moment. We just spent a year and a half shut down because of the threat of COVID-19. Then the medical establishment rushed out a vaccine to protect us from COVID. And then 2 weeks ago, we were told that if we were fully vaccinated, we could stop wearing the mask. Now, the news today is announcing that this new strain of the disease is breaking through the protection of the vaccine, so we're no longer protected. And so we're being advised to put the mask back on. It looks like our medical establishment is playing whack-a-mole, and it doesn't look like we're winning. May I suggest an alternative solution? The healing power of infinite intelligence. Now, yesterday we began a discussion on healing that utilizes the energy of infinite intelligence. We talked primarily about distance healing, that was sending healing energy to someone who is not in the same physical location as you are. And this is often done through groups like healing circles or church healing or prayer groups, and to some extent, individual practitioners. Well, today we're going to talk about spiritual healing that is called hands-on healing. Too many people believe that healing through the so-called energy of infinite intelligence is really just a fairy tale. So we've got to deal with that too. But that this healing is something that only happens in movies. You know, the witch doctor or the specially talented person. There's the professional skeptic Brian Dunning said things like the human aura or chi energy or Reiki energy are not real, even though there are instruments nowadays that can actually measure these energies. He's saying they're not real. And so his rebuttal to a statement made by a Reiki healer trying to describe her work to him, he said, none of these have any counterpart in the physical world. Although she attempts to describe their properties as heat or magnetism, those properties are already taken by, well, heat and magnetism. There are no properties attributable to the mysterious field she describes, thus it cannot be authoritatively said to exist. I have found that one of the common threads with skeptics that I've encountered is that they don't believe in anything outside their own limited view of the world. They are not possibility thinkers. Unfortunately, that makes them vulnerable to short-sightedness and an inability to see the larger world beyond their own narrow vision. Let us not fall into that trap. There is much, much, much more to the world than what the blinded eyes of non-believers can see. Okay? Please click on the thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe in the lower left-hand corner or the lower right-hand corner. Remember, I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments and your suggestions. So please use the chat box, which is on the right side of the screen. Yeah. And if you're watching in Facebook, it can also be on the right side of the screen, or it will be below the screen. But please use the chat box because I'm really interested in what you have to say. Okay? So back to work. For the sake of disclosure, I feel I need to mention that the healing methods that I'm discussing that use the energy of infinite intelligence to invoke healing are called pseudoscience. Pseudoscience. That means false science. That means that the scientific medical community has classified this type of healing as non-scientific, unreliable, and undocumented. And they've relegated it to the world of superstition, even though these have been around for hundreds of years. Now, this designation discounts the validity of the aura or the chakras or the energy centers. It discounts the transfer of energy or even the flow of energy throughout the body, all of which are elemental in the world of spiritual or energy healing. Of course, it's helpful to remember this. When America was already nearly 100 years old, okay, that wasn't that long ago, the scientific medical community still laughed at the concept that germs cause disease. Yeah. Doctors still refuse to accept that washing hands before treating patients could save lives. And they still continued to totally ridicule the practice of sterilizing instruments before surgery. So that's what we're dealing with. So the idea that medical science does not accept the validity of healing practices using the energy of infinite intelligence, it's just a temporary situation. We tolerate it, but it's temporary. We know that eventually they're going to come around. Their resistance to the truth is going to fade out, and they will come around because they will see the truth in what we are doing. You know, we're surrounded by infinite intelligence. It's all around us. The energy of infinite intelligence is over us, under us, around us. It's through us. We have access through this power by using a clever, very clever device known as faith. Yeah. If our minds believe that we can use the energy of infinite intelligence for our own good, then that energy becomes available to us. But if our minds are closed and we believe that it does not exist, then so be it. It shuts down in our experience and is no longer available to us. It's like being colorblind. All the colors are still there. They just don't exist for you because you are blind to them. You cannot see them. Now, yesterday I shared a quote with you by Dr. Michael Grosso. Dr. Grosso said, researchers have found from many types of studies that the less rigid one's mindset, the more likely it is that a paranormal force or idea will break into experience. The more unworldly our minds, the more detached from habitual patterns of response, the greater is our openness to the promptings from a higher reality principle. The fewer the mechanical restraints, the more spontaneous our mode of being in the world, the more likely it is that extraordinary things will occur in our lives. Let me repeat that. The less rigid our mindset, the more likely it is that extraordinary things will occur in our lives. So what kind of healing power is available to your mind So what kind of healing power is available to your mind if you are open to a higher reality principle and you believe in the possibility of spiritual healing? Well, there are several energy healing methods available. And I would guess that the one that is most familiar to most of us is the hands-on healing done in churches. In this healing method, the healer stands behind someone who is seated and she goes into an altered state of consciousness by tuning into the presence of spirit. And then the healer begins to transfer healing energy to the person sitting in front of him. Now, this is the method that I was trained in. I remember being fascinated and surprised when I discovered that when I went into this altered state of consciousness as a healer, I could actually feel the aura of the person I was treating. As I ran my hands over the aura a few inches outside the body, I could feel the areas of distress which were sometimes sticky to the touch or sometimes prickly like rubbing across Velcro. I would then work to clear those areas and recharge them with fresh energy. And sometimes as I emerged with a person I worked on, I could actually feel their discomforts in my own body, which gave me cues as to where I needed to focus my energy. I remember that we were then required to rinse our hands after each session in a basin of water that was charged with energy to make sure we were clear of any residue from the previous person before moving on to the next person. Did it work? Yes. For some people, there were very positive results. Now, one of the other forms of energy healing is called therapeutic touch. Now, therapeutic touch is a practice that is used mostly by nurses in hospitals. Even though it's called hands-on healing, the nurse doesn't actually touch the person being treated. But the nurse holds his or her hands over the body in order to balance the energy field of the person being treated. The theory is that an unbalanced energy field leads to illness. Now, some studies suggest that therapeutic touch may help speed up the healing of wounds, may help reduce pain, and even lessen anxiety. Therapeutic touch, as it's called, is actually a registered trademark in Canada, and is used for the structured and standardized healing practice performed by practitioners who are trained to be sensitive to the energy field that surrounds the body and are able to channel energy to that field. Now notice that I've used the word channel. That's because the healing energy is not generated by the practitioner. The healing energy comes from infinite intelligence, and the practitioner only allows the energy to flow through to the person being treated. So the practitioner is an open channel for the energy of infinite intelligence to come through and help the person that they are working on. Now, another method of hands-on healing that is growing very rapidly in popularity is called Reiki. Now, Reiki originated in Japan in the 1800s. What's that, 200 years ago? The word Reiki means mysterious atmosphere, miraculous sign. It comes from the Japanese words rei, which means universal, and ki, which means life energy. And it involves focusing the energy through the palms of the hand, the energy known as ki. Some call it chi, and it's a universal energy. And it flows from the palms of the hands of the practitioner into the energy field or aura of the person who's being treated. Now, sometimes the person who's receiving the treatment feels that energy as heat coming from the palms of the practitioner, because the practitioner's hands really get hot, really hot. So according to practitioners, the energy can stagnate in the body where there's been a physical injury or possibly emotional pain. It can get locked up in that space. So, and these blockages can cause illness. So Reiki is used to clear those blockages, both physical and emotional. Now, science says there is no evidence to show that this key energy actually exists. Yeah, we know that. Reiki has reached a level of acceptance around the world where it is now being offered in hospitals, both in the United States and in Europe. So even though these forms of energy healing have been discounted by the medical community as being without merit, there are millions upon millions of people who are receiving real benefits from these types of treatments. It helps to look at this form of healing for the power of its structure, okay? We're talking spiritual or energetic healing, and it's a three-way proposition. First, the practitioner is trained to attune his or herself to the energy of infinite intelligence in order to act as a channel for the healing. Second, the person who is being treated must be open to receiving the healing energy, because the key factor in the effectiveness of the treatment is trust and belief. That is, the person receiving the treatment must trust that the healing energy of infinite intelligence is being channeled into them, and they must believe that it is helping them. Okay? Belief is important. If they do not believe that what's happening is for their benefit, if they do not believe that they're being helped, then their disbelief can totally block the beneficial effects of the treatment. No matter how strong the healer might be, their disbelief, the disbelief of the patient, can block it. Remember the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And the third element is infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence is always there, flowing over us, under us, around, and through us. It provides the energy of healing wherever it is needed. It's always there. It is never not there. It is always there. That is important to remember. It is always there. And especially in this time of rampant fear-mongering, we're afraid of everything. We're afraid of our own shadow. Infinite intelligence is always there. Remember that. So my advice is continue to avail yourself of all that medical science has to offer. Don't walk away from medical science. I mean, they have value. They have value in what they do. You know, they've had a lot of practice in a lot of doctors. That's up to infinite intelligence. But the doctors give you the medicine or the procedures that help your body to get into that state where the healing can take effect. So calling on infinite intelligence to amplify the process that the medical doctors have done is a really wise thing to do. Remember, hospitals have shown that people with a spiritual practice who are prayed for will heal faster, have fewer complications than someone who does not. People with spiritual practices heal faster and have fewer complications than people who do not. So you can access your infinite intelligence connection. You can access it. And the ways you can access it are through meditation, through prayer, through mantras, through walking in nature and allowing yourself to open up to the energy of nature around you, like trees. Walking among a bunch of trees is really very healing. Or even near a large body of water. You know, walking by a lake it's powerful. Or even the ocean, especially the ocean. But whatever you do to find peace in your heart and peace in your mind is going to give you access to the incredible healing power of infinite intelligence. It's there. It's always there. So learn to open yourself to it. It will keep you safe. It will keep you healthy. Safer and healthier than you can possibly realize. Okay? Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and agents. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. So thank you. Thank you for spending some time with me. Remember to click on the thumbs up button below the video. If you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Or if you're on Facebook, please choose to follow me. That way you'll know whenever I'm online broadcasting. Remember, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, or any experiences you may have had that are relevant. So please put them in the chat box below the video. And so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, okay? I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.